Guys, check out this knife by Milwaukee. It's called the Duct Knife. No, not duck knife, not duck like a quack knife. The duct knife for duct work, cutting insulation, stuff like that. But this thing is pretty nuts. If you do that sort of work, you're going to look at this as just a tool. But, as someone not in that field, when I look at this, I'm like, this thing is just a dagger. I mean, look at this. It's a double-sided dagger. It's pretty legit. Made by Milwaukee. It only costs like $20 at Home Depot. This is like the Gerber Mark II of Home Depot. And check it out. It's double-sided, so you get a straight edge and you get the serrated edge. And obviously both of those are going to come in handy for doing utility tasks. The serrations cut through the more abrasive, tougher material, and the straight edge will give you those clean cuts. And also that tip is helpful for piercing that insulation and ductboard and stuff like that. But, looking at it from the outside, you can look at it and be like, this is literally just a dagger. This is like a fighting knife almost. You could go get it at Home Depot, which is pretty cool. I believe it's full tang because, you have the metal back here on this like little lanyard hole you can use to hang on stuff. Milwaukee, of course, is telling you to wear your safety glasses. But yeah, I mean, this is not going to be a review about how this performs in ductwork because, well, I'm not really doing that stuff. But, if you've used it, you could chime down in the comments and say what your thoughts on it are. But this thing is pretty cool. And I just thought it'd be cool to show it off real quick because it's essentially just a dagger, and it could definitely, be used as such. Take it out of that duct working environment, and literally it literally is just a dagger. Double-sided, comes ripping sharp. I mean, that is like super sharp. That's crazy sharp. If you are in a state where you're not really allowed to carry around knives, that sucks. But if you're carrying this around, not in the environment of doing that maintenance style work, definitely some questions will be asked. You would probably get in trouble for carrying this around. Just carrying this around as a utility knife would be cool because obviously you get the serrations, you get a straight edge, and it can be very effective for self-defense. This thing, I think it looks to be like a 6-inch blade or so, and it really is a good sweet spot for feeling good in the hand. This thing feels really good. The sheath you get, obviously being double-sided, it can go in either way. It's just a standard, plastic sheath. I'm not exactly sure of the steel that Milwaukee's using on this, but, again, for the price, you're not going to get like a really high quality steel here. It does come very sharp, and it's probably easy to maintain that sharpness. And it's stainless steel, and I think it's probably a pretty tough stainless steel just to hold up to all that work. But I don't suppose that this is going to hold an edge for a really long time. I think it's Klein Tools. They also make one that's like black. But if this knife was black and didn't say Milwaukee on it, it would just be sold as like a fighting knife essentially. The only thing I guess that would separate this from maybe a true fighting knife would be the guard. The guard would come out a little bit more just to lock your hands in a little bit better, although it does have these little cutouts here that lock your finger in. If you grip it tight enough, that thing's not going to come out of your hand. But usually a fighting knife is going to have a little bit of a more pronounced guard on it. And that's really the only thing that would set it apart from like a true dagger. I just thought it would be neat to show this thing because I just thought it was pretty awesome.